Christmas trees in both Fitzwilliam and Kinsley. I passed them today, they look absolutely wonderful. So thank you for that.
Thank you for your comment.
Right, so can I tell you, Mr. Kenyon, I think you've been on the council now for something like 10 years.
No,
I thought you joined in 2011, didn't you?
that was the first session, 2011. But Kevin, you know, we've had a meeting for an hour and 3/4 the other day. If you'd like to ask me questions on that, that are personal things, then I suggest that we have another meeting. You know, tonight's business is solely on parish of Hemsworth, Kinsley and Fitzwilliam, and obviously operation at council and council business.
Right, okay then.
If you can keep them to that, I would appreciate it.
Right, okay then, but just going back to that meeting, I know we've had that meeting, and there are questions arising from that, because somebody's leaked information on Facebook and have been attacked on it. And that information could only come from you, Mr. Kenyon. I have proof that you have released that information to someone else.
Well,
But if you don't want to talk about that, no problem.
there's a procedure, a complaints procedure, which, you know, if you'd like to do it, then pass that on to the town clerk.
It's already in progress, I've already done that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right, okay. So, you haven't been on council for 10 years then?
No,
But you've been leader of this council for what, 3 years?
just under, I think.
Right. And as chairman, do you consider the role as chairman as a leader?
Kevin, can you please put your questions regarding Hemsworth Parish, Kinsley and Fitzwilliam Parish, or business at council, not personal things with me? If you want to ask all these questions, we can have another meeting. There's not a problem with that.
So it's about, I'm asking about water back. In all your time as chairman, have you been aware or made aware of anybody trying to purchase it?
No,
Oh, right. And has it been so close to bankruptcy?
it's never been close to bankruptcy.
Right, that's all, that's fine. Okay, so can I just ask you then, the water bank's been going down nearly 40 years. So if there's been no problem, anybody purchasing it or anything like that, why have you this year put it into a trust fund?
We haven't put it into a trust fund.
Well, your clerk has informed me that it has been put into a trust.
No, it's not been put into a trust fund. There was a proposal by a councillor some weeks, months ago, to do some investigation for it to go into a trust fund or to put a covenant on it so that it stayed in perpetuity for, you know, for community. That's all that was proposed. It's never gone any further than that. I know Alan's done some checking up on that, hasn't he, Alan?
Yeah, but that report was next year though.
Yeah, and it's still in abeyance, it's not being done.
Alright, so I will give them false information then. Yeah? Okay, right. Can I ask which councillor proposed it to go into a trust fund?
He didn't propose it to go into a trust fund. He put things forward so that it could, I think the idea behind this, Kevin, is that it stayed in community forever. And I think all members agreed on that, that's what we wanted.
So that's what you're going to vote on that anyway, are you?
No, we didn't. Everybody said it was a good idea for town clerk to get the information and bring it back to us. That's not been brought back yet. We're not up to that. We're not up to speed with that.
Okay then, well, if it is in a trust fund, would that make it easier or harder for anybody to purchase?
It, obviously, if it went into a trust fund or there were a covenant put on it, then, you know, the idea behind it all is that it stays as a public asset.
Well, yes or no, I've got yes or no.
It stays as a public asset.
So is it easier to purchase in a trust fund or is it harder?
If it's put into a trust fund, as you're stating, then obviously it's for goodwill of people. It stays for the people, not to be sold.
So it cannot be sold from a trust fund?
The intentions of all these councillors that's here tonight are not to sell it.
They can't sell it, love, anyway.
But if it's in a trust fund, it cannot be sold?
Not as far as I'm aware, no.
They can't sell it,
But if it were under your stewardship, it could still be sold then?
no.
No, we don't want to sell it. I've just told you that.
Whether they want to
None
or
of
not,
these
love, it can't be sold.
None of these
Okay.
councillors
I just can't understand why after nearly 40 years, this year it decided that it needs to be put into a trust fund.
It was just one of the councillors that proposed that, you know, to safeguard it, which I think is a good thing, that it be put into a trust fund or a covenant put on it. Alan's done some researching on that, but it's not come back to us yet.
All right, but something must have kicked that off then, to set that in motion.
It was just like I said, it weren't me that proposed it, it was another council that proposed it.
Yeah, but why? That's what I'm trying to get at. Why? What's happened?
You'd have to ask him.
Well, I can't because you don't tell me who it was.
Sorry?
I can't because you don't tell me who it was.
It was Councillor Womersley.
All right. And then, so what instigated him suggesting it then?
I've no idea, you'd have to ask him.
Well, I can't because he's resigned, hasn't he?
Yes.
So he came up with a proposal, not one of you asked why he's proposing this.
We don't question everything that any council proposes, that's up to them. There's items on this agenda that all councils.
Anyway, don't worry, love, it cannot be sold, ever.
Anne, can you
So
go through
don't-
chair, please, if you go through chair.
I'm talking to a friend.
We're in a meeting, yes, Kevin.
Oh, wait.
Yeah,
Okay, can I ask Ms. Jean Echo some questions now then?
Well, I won't, I won't advise that. I mean, it's public question time, it comes through chair, and if we can answer it, then we will do. But, we need to move progress, but we're behind time tonight.
So I want to ask it through you.
Yes.
Right, recently Mrs. Eccles had a rant about me, about the question I asked, and the rant was, Kevin, you all know better, you go on Facebook, and you've been moaning about this gate.
Just hang on a minute.
That was at the,
Yeah.
was at the meeting that you're complaining about, the meeting that we had, the private meeting, and you're complaining about that, and you've just mentioned it in this room.
Now, Eccles, I couldn't question you because you had yours and then you jumped
You
up in
can
there.
ask me any question you want,
I couldn't
so
because you
fire
jumped up.
away.
You jumped up, right,
Just
okay,
a
then
minute.
thank
No,
you.
no, I'm stopping it there, Kevin. At that meeting on Friday, it was a without prejudice meeting, private meeting, and whatever was discussed in that room had to stay in that room, and everybody agreed on that, and now you've just disclosed information.
What you're complaining
that you're
about.
complaining about. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to take any more questions now on that. Has anybody else in here got any questions, please, on end of town council business in this parish?
Can I just say that it was spotted all over Facebook about Kevin, what had happened in that meeting. So someone had leaked it.
All I can say to you with that, I can tell you it weren't me, and I think one or two other members have been questioned, and it weren't them. So,
What if I produce evidence that it was you?
you use whatever evidence you want. If you said you got a complaint on it, then we'll take it once it's been put in.
Yeah, but I'm going to ask you tonight, you'll answer tonight, will you?
I'm not answering the question when it was exclusion of press and public in a meeting without prejudice that were private. And
Yeah, but I'm accusing you of
you're
leaking that
just coming in and
information.
disclose information and things that were mentioned in that
Mr.
meeting.
Kenyon, I have not released any information, you have, it's on Facebook.
You've just, no, I don't go on Facebook. I do not go on Facebook.
You said that before.
Yeah, I'm telling you now. We're getting into an argument here, Kevin, that's not helping things. We're here to discuss Hemsworth Town Council, Parish Queen, Hemsworth Town Council, and take questions on that, important questions and issues. So if you've got no further questions on that, then I'll move on.
Yes, I have. Questions about the gate, what I was accused of the gate, okay? When I asked Mr. Draper in a private email, can I have information on the costing of the controversial gate? The reply was, please confirm which gate. So I replied back to him, how many controversial gates are there? And the reply came back, Mr. Conway, please confirm what gate you mean. So I said, all right then, no problem, all of them, give me a price for all of them. Okay, I got the reply back, went into a Freedom of Information Act. The price was only for one gate. So again, I emailed Mr. Draper, did I not, Mr. Draper, and said, why have you only given me one price? And his response was, Mr. Conway, we've only purchased one gate in the last 7 years. Now, if that's true, why was the first reply confirm what gate you're on about? Because obviously you know what gate I was on about. If you've only purchased one in the last 7 years. But I'd like to ask, what's the purpose of that gate? I've been told it's for antisocial behaviour in the car park.
Are you talking about the gate that's on the water park?
No, the controversial gate.
Which gate are you on about?
Here we go again.
Quite a lot of gates.
Oh, so how many questions have you had then about gates?
I haven't had any until tonight.
Oh, right. Well, have you had any complaints about gates being erected, Mr. Draper?
Can you please direct your questions to me, if you will, and then I'll bring
Yes, I'm trying to do it.
town clerk in. What gate are you on about?
The one on Oil Mill.
So you're on about the gate to the entrance then?
Yeah, the new one, what you've just purchased.
Right, there was a resolution put forward a long time ago, as far as I'm aware, because we were getting people coming down there tipping in car park, it was costing us a load of money to move it. We were getting antisocial behaviour and drug dealing at bottom of car park. After consultation with police and different other departments of Wakefield, and the town council decided to put gates on. And since that, we've been able to lock it on dark nights and everything. We've stopped the drug dealing, we've stopped loads of antisocial behaviour, we still get it in park, and there's been no tipping in car park again.
Right, okay, no problem. Thing is, you see, I've been down to have a look at that. You know, again, I've got photographic evidence here. When you look at the car park, there's a gate on it, and there's ramps on it to stop cars going in. Cars cannot get in that car park.
You can roll over the footplates. You can ride over the footplates to get in. So that's one of the things. The other thing is, where bonfire is, Kevin, they were having meetings there, and they were tipping on that part.
Right, okay, again,
They were tipping in front of Yorkshire
right,
Waters.
well, I'll tell you what then, why was that gate purchased and put there? Because there's another entrance on Wakefield Road.
Just a minute, it was a resolution made by this council. If you want a copy of minutes, I'm sure town clerk will be able to dig them out for you.
Yeah, please, because like, well, what are you going to do about Wakefield Road? Are you going to put a gate on that? Because you're still going to get the same problem. You can still gain access into the water park from Wakefield Road.
Gates chained up on Wakefield Road.
There is a gate on Wakefield Road where Old Folk Centre is.
There is.
Oh, is there? Oh, sorry, I didn't notice that.
There's two further gates to access to Emden's Water Park. One on Wakefield Road and one on the one-way system that goes into Overflow Car Park.
The road gate.
Yes, Councillor Eccles.
Yeah, Chair, obviously I'm in Kinsley, I'm a precept payer like everybody else. Now, regarding the gate was put up, firstly and foremost, for the water park and obviously safety and health and safety and everything else. Secondly, we as being a precept payer, we've been down at the water park, Gordon's been there longer than me, 1985. We've had trouble as well with the entrance to that water park, with people, drug dealers. I've reported it all to the police. I've had my windows smashed because I reported it to police about dealing down there, and also kids coming down from school and dealing drugs, which we don't want. So I am a precept payer. We, the council, look after all the precept payers, and we try to help them if we can. Now, I know what you're getting at, Kevin. I know what you're getting at. And we asked the last council for a gate. They went and stuck the last council. They said they'd get a gate. They had a meeting with myself and Gordon. They proposed to put the gate there. When it all come out, the gate were further up. That didn't stop the cars. It didn't stop the cars coming on from bonfire site, doing donuts, pulling all grass up. Because that's what they were doing, Kevin. And I'm sure if you live there, and I pay the top band, we pay the top band rates down there. I think we're entitled to have a bit of safety, seeing as we are the only person for right of road down to the water park. The Hemsworth Town Council got it through grandfather rights, and rightly so. No objection from Gordon at all, because he was there at that time, even though there were speeding cars and his son got in jeopardy. Because of this, we had to have a word about that. Is it wrong to put the gate there? Is it that big a deal to put the gate there to look after us for a change? We've been loyal to Water Park. Just a minute, if anything goes up, no, I'm justifying the gate. Right, if anything goes off down at Water Park, who do you think rings people? We do. Right, okay, we ring them. Right. And I'm just fed up of constantly having to justify about the gate, which if it had been anybody else, they would have got it. Because we would have made sure that they were safe and we were looking after Water Park.
Right, okay, but one thing on that then, you'll need to apologise to me, because I have never, ever mentioned that gate on Facebook, never.
Didn't mention about that.
You did, you accused me of putting it on Facebook without knowing the fact.
You're getting on about the private meeting again.
You mentioned it when you started off, Kevin, and it was mentioned at meeting on Friday, so look.
Right, okay, drop that then.
Can I
I'm
just
gonna move
mention
on.
this private
He asked me
I'm gonna move
something
on.
that were on that
But
meeting.
Maxie wants to.
I'm gonna move on, yes,
Can I
Maxine.
just mention this private meeting, Kevin? Just be careful, because I have told you I have contacted police and I have got it sorted. I've had a phone call from police today and they are investigating. Can we just keep this private meeting quiet
Yeah.
for a bit
Right, okay.
until police have
Can I
investigated?
ask you about carpet removals then?
Investigate as well.
I'm sure you know what I mean.
No, because
No.
I'm moving on, Kevin, you're getting personal again. If you've got a complaint and anything that's going off here, then town clerk will take your complaint and he'll put it to members and members will decide what to do with it.
I'm just telling you the problem I had with the clerk when I tried to report the game.
You've just mentioned something about carpets.
Yeah,
We're just going round
it's a
in
public
circles.
question time, and you can ask a question about the
Yeah,
carpets.
but I've asked you, if you ask questions on business with Hemsworth Parish, Kinsley, Fitzwilliam, and.
But last I looked, water back one in this parish. And that's what I'm talking about, the carpet being removed.
Well, can you put it in writing to town clerk and then bring it to members and then they'll investigate it?
What can I miss that, Chair?
I've asked, if you've got a complaint about anything, then put it to council and let council.
Well, if I could ask you a question and get a question, there won't be a complaint, would there?
So, thank you for your questions, Kevin. I'm gonna move on then to item number 4, recorded votes. Yep.
Does anyone at home want to ask a question before the chairman closes that part of the meeting?
Okay, then if there's no further questions, I'll move on. Yep.
Go ahead, Carol. Take it off mute.
Oh, bless.
I believe it's someone called Carol
Can
wants
you,
to speak.
can you hear her? She's asking. Carol's asking, have you sorted the asbestos out?
I was sort of the asbestos there.
The water park, I think she's on about, isn't she? Must be, again.
Yeah, just to recap on that, members asked for a survey to take place. The survey was taking place with an independent surveyor in the area of concern. It came back to council and there was a resolution made that we accepted this survey report.
Not
So
everybody agreed.
that's minuted and it's been resolved that there was nothing found in that area. So, is any further questions?
Can I just say that I have took it further even more, so it is, in my opinion, still ongoing.
It's still ongoing
Yeah,
about.
there's a complaint regarding that as well, councillor Heard, because you contacted the surveyor instead of contacting town clerk and
Contacted town clerk, I contacted you all, and I did contact, and I told the clerk
Yeah,
I
but you shouldn't have
contacted him.
done that, you should have gone through town
She
clerk.
did. She went, she contacted him.
No, just a
So
minute,
what you're
Anne.
telling me is I cannot, I have to take your words for
No,
it,
you don't have to.
and I
take-
can't
you
do
have
any
to-
investigation myself,
No, you have to
and
go
that I've
through
got to
town
take
clerk.
everything thing.
No, you have to go through.
I
town
went
clerk.
to the asbestos man who was supposed to have done it, and I got the answers, and now I have
There's
gone
there's a resolution
further
in
to
place.
Wakefield.
There's a resolution in place.
You're not going to stop me finding
No.
out the truth.
Well, like I said, that's up to you, but you'd be better off if you'd have gone through correct procedure and process.
She has.
So, if that's the question, then I'll move on to item number 4 tonight. Recorded votes, as per minute number 262, 2021 to 22, to consider which items on the agenda should have a recorded vote. I think Sean's put this on, haven't you?
Yeah, I've emailed Alan and earlier, you can read them out, let me know.
Yeah, items 9, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 21, 22, 24, 27, 28.
I think I think the best thing to do, I mean, YLCA's advice, Alan, is not to record every vote on things that we do if they're not really, you know, because it's just causing extra
Members
work.
have a right to request it.
Yeah, I understand that, but what I'm saying is we don't want to be recording every vote. So I think if we can put a proposal together that if, which has always been in statute with councils, that if any member wants a recorded vote, they just propose that at that time on that item.
Yeah, this is just a way of speeding it up by having it on this agenda item and saying, can I have votes, blah, 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 recorded.
Yeah, I'm saying all you have to do when we get to that item.
Well, if it's on council, I'll ask for every vote recorded, because that's what probably people I would do, that's what promised petitioners that would do.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I
It's
don't.
nothing personal, it's what petitioners
Yeah, I
do.
understand, but some of these don't, you know, they don't really need recording, I would say.
What's the point of the recorded voting, Sean? What would your reasons be behind it?
Because we keep saying that we are
Unanimous.
accountable and visual, and that's one way of being accountable.
Yeah.
Knowing who's voted for which?
Not knowing the votes, yeah.
Yeah, that's how it wants. So can we go through them numbers again, what you're going to do?
That's fair enough, really, yeah.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
Items 9, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 21, 22, 24, 27, 28.
Well, 28.
28. Right,
It's
you got them all, love.
So,
Yeah.
if we move on then, item number 5, town council meetings to approve the respective minutes of the council meeting held on 14th of October and extraordinary council meeting held on 18th of November 2021. Can we have these moved? Members, yeah. Item number 6, committee and subcommittee meetings to adopt the minutes of the committees and their respective subcommittees as follows. Committee, Leisure and Recreation, 4th of November. Can I have a mover? Yeah, that's moved, Alan. Finance, 11th of November. We're all in favour of moving these. And policy and planning, 18th of November. All in favour of moving them, yes? Item number 7, account for payments, to confirm the payment of accounts and to approve at the Finance Committee meetings held on 11th of November. Well, they've been moved on. The town clerk to report on correspondence in respect of the following. A. Email from Hemsworth branch of the Royal British Legion thanking the council for its assistance on Remembrance Sunday.
Yeah, as it says on the tin, so to speak, Mr. Chairman, it's a thank you note from the branch of the British Legion, thanking the council for the organisation and for the funding to assist with Remembrance Day.
Chair, can I just mention something regarding Remembrance Service?
Yes.
I do believe, Maxine, you had 2 services, one at Kingsley and one at Fitzwilliam.
Yeah.
You changed the time to 10 o'clock.
We didn't change the time, we were always from 10 o'clock.
No.
It was
No,
always
it
from 10 o'clock because
Just a
of
minute,
Father John.
Just a minute.
It was always 10
Can I-
o'clock, something to do with Father John.
Since, obviously we've been elected, we've been up at 11 o'clock.
There was not a remembrance service. I had to work round Father John, who was going to rugby at 11 o'clock.
Yes.
You know.
And I put it on Facebook from the day I got in touch with Father John until that day.
I went round to see him personally.
Just a minute, just a minute.
You put it on your Facebook, but I'm not a friend.
Not on my Facebook, it was all over the sites on
Right,
Facebook.
well, I were away anyway, but what I'm saying is, there were people at that remembrance service at 11 o'clock that had been there.
I went by at 11 o'clock. There was you, there was Gordon, and there was a couple who was there, I admit,
Yeah.
and that's why I left the gate open.
No, there were more than that.
There wasn't. There wasn't. We were there.
I'm
God was
talking,
stood there on his own.
I'm talking to, I'm just trying to make a point about the remembrance service. I'm not.
You was not even going to do a remembrance
I'm
service
not-
in Fitzwilliam and Kingsley.
I'm
It
not-
was
Somebody
me
said
that
it
sorted
was
it out.
cancelled.
No, you're wrong because.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
wrong
dead
now.
on.
I'm wrong now.
It was, I'm not going to argue about it. I'm not knocking.
You want me to fit?
Yes, you are.
You
I'm not
are.
knocking what you did. I'm just saying it would have been courtesy
And it
just
was.
to mention in an email to me and Gordon, we lay the wreaths at Kingsley. It's our, we represent Kingsley.
But why
Same
did-
as Anne represents Fitzwilliam.
Yeah, but I would.
And Hemsworth and so on. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it would have been courteous to give us a call. We'd already sorted out about the wreaths. We'd already sorted out about the wreaths.
Well, you see, you never even told me.
Oh, me.
Yeah, well, it's Kingsley.
You knew I was doing it. You knew what I was doing.
I didn't
Right?
know
I
nothing.
paid for 2 wreaths,
Yes,
me. I
she's
paid
paid for them.
personally
I
for
didn't
2
do-
wreaths.
I didn't know nothing, actually.
Yeah,
I didn't know nothing.
Right.
Can I
And the
just
other-
stop it there? No, just a minute, Anne, right?
I thought it'd be
just
just a minute
Yeah,
when it got
just
to
a-
me.
Yeah, just a minute. I think, that, you know, the issue here is that for last 2 years, if I'm right, that Councillor Eccles being a Kingsley Ward councillor has presented wreaths for 2 years previously
Through the council.
through council. And her question, her question is, Maxine, which is straightforward, that, you know, out of courtesy, she just wished that you'd have notified her to see what was going on, so that we could have worked together to do that.
I would have done. That's the point I was getting across.
With them being done it for the last 2 years, is that right?
Yeah, but
Ignored.
there were the people there, and there were more than what you said, Maxine. But I'm not even going to get into an argument with you because I know we're there with police and everything.
Police
And
were there,
they
yeah.
were really disappointed because they go at 11 o'clock, and that's what time it should be.
2 weeks before I sorted that remembrance under out, you
Yeah.
told us in a meeting we have never had a service.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I'm not like, don't call me a liar.
I'm
Kathy
trying to say what
Thornell's
you're
not here,
talking
so.
about.
No, she knows.
All that Jean's saying is that last 2 years she's presented wreaths.
And all I'm saying is, you all knew what I was doing, and you all, not one of you
didn't know.
contacted me.
I didn't know nothing. I was away.
So
Well, then
look,
how could
if
you
we
do
can-
it?
If we can
Well, I was
move,
back Sunday, weren't I?
look, if
And
we
there's
can,
emails in there.
if we can move progress.
No,
Just
you
a
can
minute, Dan.
wait.
If we can move progress on this item, and then we'll try and resolve it.
No.
We'll try and resolve it, you know, so that.
Hang
there's
on,
no
why
extra
can't I
delay.
bring it up now? Because
you-
it was something that you
because-
put
no,
on
because you're the
Facebook.
Fitzwilliam councillor.
Yeah, on Facebook you even said there weren't one.
You were said, it was
Fitzwilliam,
said.
on the
Yeah, there's
community.
never been a march
Just a minute.
through. Not since
What do
I.
you mean there's never been a march?
There has
No.
been a march every year.
Just a minute.
I've never- there's
You're not
never-
even listening.
This is the
Since
Labour
I
reads
became
every
the
year.
Kingsley councillor.
Get lost.
That's all I'm saying.
Get lost. Do you know what you're talking about?
I'm not
Can
talking
I just
about
mention
before.
it?
Can you just come to order, please?
Well,
if you
can
don't
you
mind?
just tell her to shut up for
No,
2
I'm
I'm
minutes?
talking
No,
about the
and-
when
and
we've been
drop
doing
it.
it.
Drop
We're gonna
it.
move, look, we're gonna move
Well,
progress.
she knows she's.
And we'll bring this back so that it can be resolved within council.
No,
It's-
can I just mention it? Because it come in a letter from the council, right, from here, right, that it was cancelled. And that there wouldn't be a parade or anything, and if anybody wanted to go to a parade, they could go to Hemsworth one, right?
I think you've got that mixed up.
No, I haven't. It's a pity because I
Well,
haven't
just hang on a
brought it,
minute.
because you
Well,
signed it.
I did not sign
Anyway,
anything.
just a
That
minute,
was resolved on Friday.
just a
Can you,
minute.
just let town clerk answer that? If you can answer that, Alan, please. What?
It was just that a contact with the council when the Hemsworth branch asked the town council to help with the Hemsworth parade.
Yeah, they always
The council
do.
did.
Yeah.
I did. It was a bit more this year than usual years, things like, traffic management, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I also asked at the same time, said, is there going to be a parade in Kingsley as well? Because at this point, I'd got to get the road closure order as well. So if I'm getting Hemsworth, it's as quick to get the Kinsale one at the same time.
And it's
And
William Kincombe.
I was told by the branch that there wouldn't be a parade.
No,
I wasn't told that there'd be nothing. I was told there wouldn't be a parade.
No. no, they didn't say that.
They did, that's what they said,
Oh,
because
yeah,
British
sorry.
Legion was
I was
closed
told-
down. Alan is correct.
I was
Yeah.
told there would be a parade.
Because the British Legion were closed down.
I didn't know why. I was just informed.
That's
there
what they said, and it didn't matter about that. But before that, Alan, it was said in here that we hadn't had a parade for years. Right, since a certain councillor got, Alan, a councillor, said we'd never had a parade. Only parade we've missed is, well, last year because of COVID, and obviously this year because somebody had put it on Facebook that it was cancelled. And the band, we used to have the brass band, and they had to stop after because they've been doing it for quite a few years. So we got the pipe band on, the pipers, and they come from Bradford and everything, and they were really, really heartbroken because they couldn't get, because they'd seen it were cancelled, right? And the people from Fitzwilliam and Kingsley were upset because they'd seen it were cancelled and everything, and it had been put on Facebook that it were cancelled, and it shouldn't have been.
So,
And it was sent in a letter from the council about it, saying how, why it had been cancelled, all this, that and the other. Maxine worked damn hard. I went to see the vicar, and
just a
it was,
minute, just a minute. No, just a minute, let me come in here. Can you present the letter that you're on about, and then we'll take it?
no, I haven't brought it tonight.
okay.
Can we move forward? Because
Yeah.
if I was public watching this, or
Yeah.
sitting out there, I'd be thinking, what am I watching?
Yeah,
We
I
need- we
would.
It's
need to
supposed to be a
move
council
progress.
meeting.
If you can bring that letter in, so we'll try and resolve it,
If
because
it's on Facebook, I would.
it's half a dozen of one and six
It's
of
a
them.
tip.
It's ridiculous. Can't do it because
So if we can move progress, if you can, I would
It's
appreciate it.
funny how it's always
Right,
got to move
uh,
progress
a
when
letter
there's
of thanks.
truths coming out.
A letter of thanks to waive the room fees for the old people's keep fit classes. Letter of thanks, I'll leave that to you, Alan.
Yes, dear sirs, I would like to thank the council for waiving the weekly fee for Monday's Keep Fit classes. Much appreciated. At the moment, I have 20 on my register, but since the class restarted, I have only had 14 on a regular basis, or sometimes 12. Thank you once again, Mrs. for what you've been doing now.
So if you can go rest, if you will, Alan, please. See.
Yeah, email from a parishioner thanking the council. On behalf of my mum, can I thank Leanne and the two councillors, Stan and Jim, who came to her home and presented her with a lovely bouquet of flowers.
Item D, Alan.
That's a letter from Unison, Mr. Chairman. It's a standard letter notifying that Unison are going to ballot for potential strike action.
Item E.
That's an email from a parishioner regarding the results of a survey that she conducted about the festival.
Hey,
That has been circulated to members, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for that.
I don't know, we haven't been told.
Item F.
We haven't been told about that, have we?
That's a query from a member of the public asking why the council didn't hold a survey. So that's a question, so it needs an answer, Mr. Chairman.
Well, I think the question regarding that is that consultation did take place, and at that time the councillors decided to move forward with it. There were only one vote against it, and so the proposal and resolution moved forward on that. Item G.
Yeah, it's correspondence from the Rural Market Town Group, Mr. Chairman. They gave the council free membership, and now they're asking if the council will pay £50 for membership from the 1st of December to the 31st of March.
Yeah.
Well, I think for the last couple of years, because we haven't got a market, we didn't want to subscribe to them, so that's been a no. Now, if we do, I think if we do decide to get a market, because I know it's been tabled, and to see what responses from members of the public, I think it'd probably be a good thing if we do decide to get a market together. But at this moment in time, I don't think we need to subscribe to them. It's up to you if you feel different.
Do we get any sort of benefit from it at all at the moment?
No, I don't think so, do we, Alan?
Well, they would say, to be fair, they would say yes, but it's arguable that we're rural, probably semi-rural.
Yeah.
and we're not a market town at present, we are.
We won't be, if we've got a market,
Yeah,
then
in
we
a
will.
minute, no.
Yeah,
No.
it's, yeah, that's, you're
Okay,
right
then.
there, yeah.
Item number 9, community grants and or assistance to consider the following. I'll leave that one to you, Alan.
Last year, Mr Chairman, the council gave 25 £10 vouchers to the Friends of Ashfield House, and they're asking to do, if the council will be good enough to do the same again this year.
Is it 25, is it less or is it more?
25, Mr Chairman.
Yeah, so,
Essentially, it's a grant of £250.
yeah, what we did last year, and I think the year before, it's the Old People's Centre over at Road. We got £10 vouchers from Tesco's, and we'll present it to them where they could buy a food parcel or whatever for Christmas. So I'd like to propose that we do that again. If we can have a seconder. All in favour?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unanimous. So if we move on then to item 9B, Alan.
Thank you, Mr Chairman. Yeah, a request from the Little Lakes Playgroup. They say, I am writing to request for the charge of the room that we currently use at the centre to be removed. Little Lakes Playgroup are an established group who have run for over 5 years now, paying £24 weekly. We charge £2 per family to attend, which includes free refreshments for all, and we have at this moment 20 families on our books with a total of 28 children. We are a not-for-profit constituted group whose funds go back into running the playgroup 100%. Removing the room hire costs would give us the funds to support the families with the cost of outings and events and some classes such as first aid training.
Well, I spoke to Ellen about this because it was me that asked for it to go on the agenda. It only equates to about just like less than £1,200 a year income to us. We've waived pitch fees for football teams. I think it's only right that they've requested this. It's a good thing to help them out, especially they've gone through a pandemic, different things. So once again, I think it's a good thing. I think we all agree with it. I'd like to propose that we waive their fees to use the facility.
Yeah.
We're all in favour then?
Yeah, definitely, that's good, yeah.
Unanimous, Alan. Item C. Item C.
It's donations to local schools. Members need to decide, Mr Chairman, to make a cash donation to local junior schools, or some other donation, or selection boxes, or combinations thereof.
Well, I think last couple of years what we've done, we've donated £100 to 6 junior schools in the area. So there's Sacred Heart, St Helens, Groveley, Kinsley, there's 2 at Kinsley Middle School, and Fitzwilliam. So are we all in favour of continuing with that? And if they can put it to the Christmas party or whatever.
How much, Mr Chairman, sorry?
What, £100? Everybody happy with that? Yeah. It'll go a long way for the party for children, yeah. Yeah, thanks for that, members. Item number 10, mid-year internal audit 2021, the town clerk to report accordingly.
Yeah, thank you, Mr Chairman. The report's been circulated to members. I can confirm there are no issues to report.
Thank you. Number 11, casual vacancy by election town clerk to report accordingly.
Currently a vacancy in the West Ward, Mr Chairman, and the vacancy will take place next week on the 9th of December.
Good luck to all prospective candidates on that one. Item number 12, council committee meetings to consider holding 2 council meetings, committee meetings on the same evening. I think Sean's put this one on. My view with that is, I mean, you can see the amount of items we've got on, 28 items tonight. If we were to include policy, finance, or whatever, I mean, I think if it's a short meeting, it's probably a good idea. We can get in and get it over with, but if it's going to run on for, you know, into small hours, I think it's...
The proposal is not the council meeting, really, because that's a lot in it.
Yeah.
Also, the American Leisure tends to have a lot in it. Since I've been on the council, I've been effectively timing them. The American Leisure, the policy and planning and the finance one. They take less than half an hour, both of them, usually 20 minutes. It's just merge the smaller ones rather than not the big ones.
So, what I propose, it could be a good idea, so that we're not taking another evening up at that time. If the town clerk could have a look, liaise with chairs, and the other committees, Alan, yeah? And if we can cover it, the town council meeting and the committee meeting in a decent time.
I mean, I'd advise if members do want to combine any meetings, I would advise combining finance and policy and planning, because
That's the
council,
ones I'm on about, yeah.
tonight you couldn't have another one tonight, and leisure and rec is usually an extensive one as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's
finance
what-
and policy would be a sensible,
That's the one I'm looking at, that's the
Yeah.
start.
that's if members want it, obviously.
Yeah, so,
I'd agree with that.
yeah, have we any objections to that, providing, like I said, if there's loads of items on each one, Alan, then obviously you'd have to.
Yeah, if it comes and it turns out they're a nightmare, we can look, revisit and say, actually, it's not working.
So, are we all in favour of that then?
Yeah, definitely that one, yeah.
Item number 11, casual vacancy, item number 13, recording live stream council meetings. Alan, you've got details on that?
Yeah, just to confirm, so at the moment, obviously, the council live streams council meetings, previously on Facebook, now on Zoom, as we're doing at the moment. The proposal, I believe, from Councillor Middleton would be to record the meetings, and then the recording would then be placed on whichever website the next day or that sort of thing.
I just think again, it's going to happen because we're going to keep doing it. Oh, we may as well do it ourselves, basically. I know we get a lot of views afterwards. What are you selling? Once you got 4,500?
The last full council meeting, the
council
last time I
format,
looked at
that's
it,
a
it had
lot of
over
people
4,000
will
views.
Contact, not in contact with us, but all can see what's happening. And hopefully then more people actually come to the meetings and get more people involved, those who can come to the meetings. But there's also a lot of people who have kids who can't get here, a lot of people with lots of health issues, that sort of thing. So my view would be to do the Zoom, but also record them as well. And we'll just trial it on the council meetings for now, see how that works.
Won't hurt to try it, will it? I
No,
mean,
let's
we don't do Facebook, so we don't know.
Let's try it for a couple of meetings and see what happens.
Yeah.
That's what I'm proposing.
Won't hurt, will it, to try it?
I'll leave that
What's that, just the
to
council?
members.
Just the council for now, yeah. Again, policy planning, there's probably not much
Yeah.
reason for doing
So
it.
I've got a proposal to just to put council meetings now on trial.
Yeah.
Have I got any amendments to that? There's no amendments, so that proposal is carried then, Alan, yeah?
To record, yeah, to record as well as screen.
Item number 14, consider recruiting the vacant deputy town clerk role. I mean, we're in December, we've not budgeted on this as yet for this year, and I think we'd probably be as well off deferring this to next financial year to budget, probably budget it in if we need one.
Yeah, just think we need to like review it and then so this just start the process if you like.
Definitely think we need
You are saying,
we definitely need one for Alan's sake.
Obviously,
yeah,
there's
for
no need
Alan's
to be-
sake, yeah.
So many things. What sort of qualifications are we going to need to apply for this?
Well, the council can set qualifications as it thinks fit, but the standard procedure would be the qual. You could ask the qualifications that a town clerk's got, but normally would be obviously a little level below that because it's a deputy. I could read off my qualifications, but you wouldn't maybe want it that, to sound pompous, but that high, but maybe just a level below it.
Not something working towards.
Yeah,
So obviously working towards it, yeah, and I could train them up sort of thing, yeah.
I'm thinking like, it's a job of responsibility.
It is, yeah.
And authority, etc. And they need to be properly qualified. That's the only point I'm making.
Yeah.
Like, and,
Yeah, totally agree.
and could I also ask, would it be possible for the full council to make the final decision on the position?
Yes, it could. What would stand
Yeah.
out?
It might be a bit awkward, I don't know.
No, yes, you're right. There's two options on that. The usual practical solution is that you'd appoint a panel to interview the applicants, 3, 4, 5 maybe. They make a recommendation, which then comes back to full council. Or you could have the interview panel of all 15 councils, but you wouldn't really. That'd be a bit oppressive. So standard procedure would be 3, 4, 5 council interview, recommendation back to full council.
You're just trying to cut that thing out, well, you favoured her, or you favoured him, or you know what I mean?
I think there's
It
five.
puts all that out.
I think there's five councils you've got rid of that.
You know, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree.
It might be a bit awkward, but
No, it's,
you know, you could say you and Jeff like, or you picked, you favoured him, and it's just cutting that out.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah, you have to be careful, like you said, just,
Yeah.
and then do it like that.
Yeah, so if we
I'm
can
deciding
defer it,
that, yeah.
if we can defer it to, you know,
council
to next,
meeting.
towards next financial meeting, and then put things together for, if we do it, then our interview's gonna progress.
Yeah, yeah.
So item number 15, capital expenditure, public consultation, to consider a policy of conducting a public consultation prior to committing significant capital expenditure.
Could I also defer that to the next meeting, please? Based on what Alan's responses here on his notes, and then just, it says, consider some methods of consultation, come with the methods,
I mean,
that sort of thing.
it has to, you know, obviously it has to go through a procedure for tendering if it's over 25,000. So, you know, I think that might be the best thing if we can defer this to next meeting, and then
That's what just I've said,
get
defer
some
it,
more. Yeah.
Get some information.
Yeah, definitely.
Councillor, item number 17, councillor's conduct. 16, sorry, volunteer fair, further to minute number 261, 2021-22, to consider holding a fair for local volunteer groups.
So again, this is me. So last time I asked that we do like basically a celebration of the local volunteers. Since that proposal, I've had some feedback from some of the local volunteers, and it was a fair comment. And basically, the consensus was, we don't want a party, we want help. So I asked around. So what I'm proposing is we change that party, if you like, to what you call a lampposting event. So the volunteers, but also some charity groups. I know me and Alan spoke to Andy's Man Club, they said they'd be interested, just so put a few tea and coffee, a few biscuits, that sort of thing. Invite people, different charities, different groups, friends of, to come and signpost what they do. And also we can get talking, so just loads of table at the table, not stalls and such in the centre.
Yeah.
On a given day, next year, basically it's going to be anyway time now, just to get the likes of, because I spoke to Andy's Man Club with it, Turning Point, we've also spoken to.
Yeah.
But Turning Point said they'd be interested. I know there's New Ground, who says we'll do like a jobs for the 17, 18, 19 hours, so get them on that sort of thing, get mental health charities, even the friends of groups or the committee groups, they can all get together and just signpost, come up with leaflets and just promote themselves. The council could even have a stall if they wanted, and have it manned up.
It's helping them, isn't it?
If we can advertise that on our website, Alan, yeah?
Advertise on the website and just phone up if somebody's got any ideas who would like to be on it.
Yeah, see
forward.
what interest it generates, and then move it forward from there, yeah?
Yeah, that's fine.
Item number 17, council's conduct, standing orders, to consider adding a standing order in respect of council's conduct. I think this relates to complaints that we've had from monitoring officer and from West Yorkshire Police, that a proposal I'd like to put forward that if we recommended, or any councillors recommended, under the code of conduct, to apologise to a person or a member of staff, then I think that you know, under the council's code of conduct, we should do that, and especially police, West Yorkshire Police have been involved. So to add to standing orders or procedural, that members, you know, should do that. If they don't do that, then there's another procedure that we put in place, I do believe.
Yeah, just to clarify, Mr. Chairman, the proposal, as I understand it, is that if, please correct me if I'm wrong, is that if a member doesn't comply with any recommendation of the monitoring officer, be it an apology or whatever he or she, the MO thinks fit, would be to then, the sanction would be to remove that member from the committees. Technically, that's not possible. Apologies for the obfuscation, but I'll explain that further. You can't create a standing order to remove a member from a committee. But what the council can, because that's a sanction, and there's case law that shows that town councils can't do that. All town councils can do as a punishment, or a sanction if you like, is to carry out the recommendations of the MO. But what council can do, if it wants, if it so decides, is to reconstitute its committees. You get the same end result. So say, for example, if it was the council's wish to apply a sanction, or something like it can't do, but to remove Councillor Smith from a committee, the lawful way to do that would be a resolution saying we think Councillor Smith should comply with the MO's recommendations, and then at the following meeting there could be an agenda item to restart or reconstitute the committees. So what would happen is the agenda item would be committees, and the council would then list who it wants, like it was at the annual meeting, list who it wants on the committees, minus Councillor Smith. You get the same result. It's a subtle difference, but it's an important difference, Mr. Chairman. So if it's approved, it will be a two-stage process. You have a resolution saying Councillor Smith has been naughty, one of the better phrase, and the following council meeting, you have a resolution, if the council so wished, to reconstitute its committees.
Yep. So, you know, we've got a governing body, so to speak, and under the constitution that we're governed by, I think it's a good thing that, you know, that we should have some way of levering to. I don't think it's an hard thing for to make an apology. So
Can I just have my say on this, please?
yeah.
In relation to the council standing order, I would like to clarify that I have appealed the decision by the monitoring officer, and that is now being heard at the higher level. My appeal has also been supported by another outside body, which we've already mentioned, and you've tried to make out they haven't,
Just a minute, Maxine.
who have monitored additional migrating information and support. Point of order.
No.
Point of order.
Point of order for it.
To conclude this, I would like to ask the clerk the following. At the end of this meeting, I am immediately supplied with the copy of the council's policy on body cams, and in particular related to data protection. Breaches of this could lead to the council to bear additional sanctions depending on what the policy states. At this stage, I cannot and will not add any more further information.
I think that could have been done in a
I think it
different
could
way,
have not been done, because you have just told everybody
I've not told everybody
about
anything.
West
What I'm
Yorkshire
saying
Police,
is-
by the way, who came to my house and told me that there was no evidence whatsoever.
Just a minute.
About what I did.
You're going off on things here that we have not got round to. What procedures that go forward, all we're asking is that if we've got a governing body, like a principal authority, that we're answerable to the monitoring officer, out of courtesy, under code of conduct that we operate under, all I'm asking, and I think members will agree, that it's not very hard to go and apologise if you made a mistake or said wrong things. That's all I'm saying.
Can I just go in there, Chair?
Yes, Eddie.
What if your accuser has told lies about it?
Exactly.
To an officer?
Yeah, well, obviously then.
Yeah, please, point of order, Chair. And there is a witness to that fact who sat in this room. And I've already challenged him about it. And he's running away and hiding at the moment.
I mean,
but he will come forward.
yeah, but
He will be made to come forward, Chair. And he will either tell lies, Chair, or he'll tell the truth.
what I'm saying with
And I will not hold my breath on that.
all I'm saying is it's
See, you
it's
can't.
the first line. Anna, just let me finish.
Do you ever?
I'm not saying any one thing. What I'm saying is it's a proposal that's put forward to try and resolve things, and that's all, in quickest way that we can.
No.
But it's not going to resolve it.
Maxine's brought something up there that there's a complaint got out, and she's asked for it to be reviewed, or she's objected to it. She's quite right with that. We haven't got to that point. If that's the case with that, and it's your case with that, then obviously, you know, you've got to wait for that. We understand that. But all I'm saying is, I'm asking you to think about as operation. That's all. Because you know, they do contact me and Alan, Duck Monitoring Officer, and what we're getting is that they're getting a lot of complaints from within here. And so we've got to try and resolve it. Look, we're all voted on by members of the public to represent them and their best interest, not to squabble among ourselves and create things, and that's all I'm saying. So if we can leave that open, Alan, to you look at it and to investigate it, and then we can move forward, yeah?
So that just deferred it, Mr. Chairman.
Just defer, yeah.
It can only be deferred, can't it?
So,
Is that, have you finished,
item number
Maxine?
18, councillors' conduct on social media. To consider councillors' conduct on social media. Alan?
Councillor Eccles, Mr. Chairman.
Councillor Eccles?
Have got some posts online or something?
Oh, God, there's been that many things online. And what people don't know the main point. No, I think we've had a conversation before about social media, but what gets me is obviously councils liking and sharing when other councils are getting blackguarded. I don't think it's right.
Still sharing?
All sharing. Yeah.
Yeah, well, defer that and,
Why?
you've got, I think you've been sent some screenshots out of that, so you could probably put them up there in exclusion press and public. Item number 19.
Just a minute. So, if something happens again and something's shared by a fellow councillor, that's derogative or obviously hurtful and vindictive, and people share it, I think obviously there should be some consequences for that.
Well, I think that's covered in what we previously mentioned, you know what I
If
mean?
anyone has any concerns about council's conduct, they should report to the MO Wakefield. That's a statutory route.
Yeah, well, this is it, and that's what it is.
No, I just said, Chair, before we got to, you know, can't we just ignore social media? I keep saying it. We shouldn't have to do, I know, we shouldn't have to do, Chair, but can't we just say, we're done with it?
We'd like to.
I know what I'm gonna get now, but I know.
I don't respond to them. I don't respond to them.
No, but Jean, I'm all about
sometimes
everybody.
when you don't respond to them, then they come back at you again. I don't respond to them. But I have Facebook for my family. And I will keep that, will never change. But what I'm saying is, it's not good when councillors are sharing things and liking things when they're on about a fellow councillor, and that was for everybody. That was anybody. And that's why I brought that up. So if I see that, I'll send you screenshots, Alan, if there's any more comes up.
So if I move on then to item number 19, councillors' conduct, recommendation
Just a minute
from the
then.
monitoring officer. Just a minute, Anne. Recommendation from the monitoring officer. So because it like to what you know, we previously mentioned, can we defer that then?
I need to report it to the Chairman, it's official from the MO. I'm not commenting on the cases involved in as Chairman, it's not my role. It's just my role to report from the MO. The monitoring officer from Wakefield, but she's reported to the council the result of 5 investigations into the conduct of 4 councillors here. Those 4 councillors are yourself, Mr. Chairman, Councillor Hurd, Councillor Hardick, and Councillor Mitchell. And the recommendation in each case from the MO has yet to be carried out by all councillors concerned. That's in my report.
So I do believe that, you know, some councillors have appealed against that or asked for it to be reconsidered. So we'll wait for that process to take action first, yeah.
Are they all waiting for the results?
Sorry?
Are all the 5 waiting
Yes.
for the result?
Yeah.
Oh,
Item number 20, Information Commissioner's Office recommendations. The town clerk to report accordingly.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There was a recent complaint to the Information Commissioner about the council, which resulted in some recommendations from the ICO, which include data protection training for all staff, annual refresher training, a review of the suite of data protection policies, and to draft a policy for dealing with inappropriate disclosures. So that's what I'd like to do this now, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for that. Item number 21, planning matters Hemsworth Water Park. To consider planning application in respect to the storage unit and Upperfield car park.
Thanks, Chairman. Wakefield Council's planning department have confirmed that the storage unit needs a retrospective plan application, and the path or road that's been dug on the upper field at the park. Members need to decide whether to apply for the same plan application for that, or to fill it back in, to it reverts back to its previous statement, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah. When that path was dug out, there were already limestone underneath that, because that gate's been there about 30 years. So that's easy resolved, it's just to put topsoil back in its side. We'll just dug out for access to that top part. With regard to storage unit, Hemsworth Town Council engaged a planning consultant with regard to storage unit. He's liaised with Wakefield Council now, and what we've asked for is a retrospective planning application. That's correct, isn't it, Tony?
Yeah, I'd advise that we do that, but members need to decide about whether to have application for the path or roadway, or to fill it back in.
That path got to be blocked off altogether, isn't it?
So,
completely.
So the top path then, I would propose that we have it filled back in.
Yeah.
Top pathing in the finger.
Yeah, because we can come up all the way now. Yorkshire Water's made a stone road up there for us.
Not that good, yeah.
Yeah.
And then if we can put a retrospective planning application in for unit, yeah.
That's what members want, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, block that path off because it's good, dangerous off roadside, it's dangerous there.
Yeah. There is a drop curve further down to that, Alan, which obviously there's 3 trees they move on that.
No drop curve, nothing, that's nothing there.
Item number 21 then, planning matters Hemsworth Water Park that we've done. Item number 22, Sandygate football facility staffing. To consider recruitment of a permanent member of staff to enable the facility to be fully staffed. I think, well, you know, we have lost a member of staff regarding that, so it's if members want to consider recruiting. I think we need somebody to...
I'd recommend, Chairman, I won't go into detail, but we've tried sort of like partial stuff in there, and without making confidences, it hasn't really worked. And I think being fully staffed is the way to go back to.
What hours would you be looking at for that, Alan?
We need 37 hours for that to make sure it's fully covered for the time.
And we should have budgeted for that, shouldn't we? Because that's no... I would propose then that we go through procedure to interview for that, yeah? Are we all in favour of that?
Yeah,
Do members
yeah.
want to, Mr. Chairman, do members want to be involved, or?
Yeah,
I mean,
some do, some will.
Because it's an internal, I think we might be better off leaving that to management.
Yeah.
And then it keeps us, like we said, if somebody walks in that one of the councillors knows, you're not going to get any hassle, you know.
Well, it would be an external recruitment, Mr. Chairman, wouldn't it?
Sorry?
Well, we could go internal first, I suppose, yeah, then external if need be. So,
Yes.
but either way, members are happy for me to lead on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Item number 23, freedom of information request. The town clerk to report on the anonymised freedom of information request received and to authorise the respective response accordingly.
Just one thing, Mr. Chairman, it's just some basic accounts information.
Yeah. Okay, we're all happy with that? Yeah. Yeah. Item number 24, written queries driving from the extraordinary council meeting held on 12th of October, further to minute 242. I'll leave.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, at that extraordinary meeting, there was only enough time to answer the questions from those persons present. But there were still quite a lot of written questions that were left unanswered. As yet, I've not had time to reply to them all, but it is a loose end, and it's not fair on the people that sent the questions to leave it like that as a loose end. So, just to cover all the bases, Mr. Chairman, it's up to the council to decide whether to instruct me to answer those questions, including the anonymous ones, or to request that the anonymous questions are not answered, and that he or she or they can then submit FOI requests as the officials do. So it's up to the council, Chair. It's just a loose end. It's not fair to leave it open like that and be sorted out either way.
I mean, what I would suggest, once again, it's your decision. If there's any anonymous questions, then leave them to submit the question again. with the details on name and address. And for the ones that you've not answered that have, gone through the correct procedure, Alan, then we can answer them, yeah?
You didn't say in the meeting, we just answer all questions, can't you?
Yeah, we did.
Didn't say that.
Yeah, we did.
I won't answer any anonymous question.
I mean,
But the thing is,
we
if the
should
normal
answer
questions and
anonymous
then no,
questions, I mean,
why can't, if
and I
you're
mean, we go
clear
back to
and
Eric's
transparent,
point
why
about
can't you answer
social
them?
media,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I don't agree if you want that question.
That's what we
Giving
said.
information
If
is getting on the
somebody,
side.
if somebody's got a genuine question and they live in Parish, then obviously they'll put the name and address to it and put it in. Alan doesn't have to disclose it towards it, but I think it's a lot of work. We put forward anonymous things, so I propose that we just answer people that's followed the correct procedure to put in.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't agree.
Yeah, we're all in favour of that, then, yeah.
No, I think we should answer them all.
Item number 25, exclusion of press and public. Members of the public and the press to be excluded from the consideration of a business of a confidential nature, public bodies admission to meetings 1960. I'd like to thank all members of the public for attending tonight. It is his last meeting this year. I'd like to wish you a safe onward journey and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from all members of the Town Council. Thank you.